Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. Karen Bonafilio, Inner Realms, Outer Journeys. Look who's on the show today. Hi, Lynn, welcome.
Oh, Karen, thank you so much for having me today. I am so excited to be doing this.
So am I. You guys, if you have not experienced Lynn, you are in for a treat today. She's usually demonstrating all of her talents, but today we're going to find out a little bit about her, and she is going to show some things that she does. She's incredible. And she's coming on again because we got some other things planned. And we just have a really nice relationship, and I think it's because we're around the same age and have the same sense of humor. So
That's scary, isn't it?
yeah, no, it's not. I think it works well. Well, Lynn, tell us a little about yourself and your abilities, how you got started, and we'll take it from there.
Okay. Ever since I was a child, I've been interested in the paranormal and UFOs. And of course, this is going back quite a ways, where there were only a few books out there by Brad Steiger and other people. And it was, totally out there. Edgar Cayce was one of my early influences.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a few paranormal experiences when I was really little. I would be in my room trying to go to sleep at night in the dark, and I would hear voices. I would hear adult voices talking, and there would be entities up in the corners kind of floating around in my room.
Was that terrifying?
Actually, no, because they were having very calm conversations, and once in a while they would say something to me like, "Hey, everything's fine," but it was just they were so chill that it was okay. It was kind of normal after a while.
About how old were you when that was going on?
I believe I was 7, 8, 6, 7, 8, somewhere there. Because I know by then we were living in California, so it was about that time. It was actually very comforting. So as I was growing up, I was one of the strange kids that was interested in astrology and past lives and all of that. What an interesting time that we live in now, Karen, because all this stuff that made me a bit on the outside has now become almost closer to mainstream, not maybe totally, but closer.
It's embraced.
But I liked exploring, religion, philosophy. I was raised in a religious environment. I mean, not extreme, but I went to parochial school in grade school, all the way through the 8th grade.
Is that Catholic? Is parochial Catholic?
It falls under that umbrella. So it just means religious. So I was Lutheran. So a strict, Lutheran Church, Missouri Synod kind of. People don't think of Lutherans as being strict like Baptists.
You grew up in Missouri?
No, but it was the Missouri branch of that religion. It's a little complicated. But suffice it to say that when I got to high school and college, the kids I gravitated towards and hung out with were the Catholic kids because they get it, right? They knew what it was like to be in a stricter
environment. Yes.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, as I was a teenager, I had an older friend who ended up being a pen pal, right? In a way. So every time he would explore some philosophy or things like transcendental meditation and all of that, he would take me on his journey with him and send me books and information. And so I developed along those lines, like under the radar.
Oh, that's kind of cool. So you were hearing spirit earlier on in life and then just doing a lot of exploring. Did you ever see a UFO during that time?
No.
Well, they're coming.
Oh.
They're coming, Lynn. You're going to see them.
I'm one of those people. I wished I had had even more experience with things like that. But I only had one experience where I think I came close. And a friend of mine and I were out in the desert. This is a lady friend of mine. We were like best buds for a while. And we were out in the middle of the desert in California late at night. And we could feel my truck, like floating.
Really?
We were terrified. We were terrified. It felt like we were 20 feet off the ground at least. And
was there a light or anything coming down?
There was a bit of a light. And, I wish now I'd been braver, but I was afraid if I opened the truck door, I'd fall 20 feet to the ground.
Oh, I don't blame you.
Yeah. So I've had a few little, things like that happen, but I've always been a believer.
Mm-hmm. Very open. That's really cool. Okay. Now, did you share this with your parents? And I don't know if you have siblings, or did you just internalize it and know that it was a little different and kind of keep it under wraps?
I was rather secretive and a loner, and my siblings were 4 years and more younger than me. So I was more like in charge of them part of the time. So I didn't share that with them or with my parents.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in an age where it was kind of hands off, and as long as you're not making trouble, you get to do what you want, right? So I did.
Yeah, but I could see you. I know how you are now. You had to be adventurous back then. You just all of a sudden don't become it. So I know that you are seeking and adventurous also. I can see you sneaking out at night too.
Yeah. And, I was one of those kids. When I was 8 years old, I made an appointment with the pastor of my church because I had some deep, troublesome questions.
Wow.
And he was a very kind man, just a gem. And he did his best to answer my questions, but I was never quite satisfied with the answers. And by the time, go ahead.
Were they about the paranormal or what?
No, it was questions like, more like, why is there only one path to be saved? If somebody is on the other side of the world in a country that never heard of Christianity, are those people really going to go to hell? That doesn't seem like a loving God. So I had questions like that that were hard for him to answer. If a little baby in Africa who's never heard of Jesus hasn't been baptized, what happens to them?
Yeah. I used to question the same things too.
Yeah. And so anyway, I was always kind of questioning and searching and a little on the fringes. But so let's see, where do I go from there?
Well, I'm kind of curious, how did you learn that you had abilities, the psychic and the medium abilities?
Thank you for asking. This was really crazy. So at 16, I go to the local drugstore and there's a pack of fortune-telling cards called Gypsy Witch fortune-telling cards. Oh my goodness. I recently purchased one off of Amazon, for old time's sake. These are the scariest cards you've ever seen. There's death and divorce and people falling off towers and oh my God. But I didn't know any better. So the local park I hung out at, I started reading these for people as a game, for fun. And pretty soon I had a line around the block of people wanting readings from me.
Are you kidding?
No, and they would come back and go, oh, all of that happened. My friend wants a reading now. And given the nature of these cards, I was kind of, oh my God, this is a little scary.
Yeah, because you're talking about death and destruction and such.
Yeah. These cards have no filter on them whatsoever.
What are they called? I need to look into them.
Oh, they're great. Gypsy Witch fortune-telling cards. And on each one, you'll see a regular playing card that corresponds to it, because a lot of people realize that the original tarot became playing cards that we're familiar with now, so they could go under the radar and not get the people in trouble who were adept at reading them.
Wow.
like the gypsies and the other people who were fond of these, right?
So
So
we're sitting in the park doing that with people.
16 years old, and it really it spooked me. And so I have a pattern in my life of running towards these things and then running away, and then running towards them and running away again, because for younger people who are watching this, back in the early 70s, trying to find anyone who knew about these things or could mentor me I wasn't finding them. I had no clue where to go.
Mm-hmm. And they didn't have really metaphysical stores or anything back then either.
Well, they had a few, but not, okay, I grew up in the high desert in California, and there was the Bodhi tree in Los Angeles. So if I got brave enough to drive an hour and a half into the big city and hope I didn't crash my car,
Don't want to do that.
I could do that. So yeah, things were few, things and teachers and people were few and far between.
Well, how did you stumble upon a teacher then? Was that later in life?
That was later. That was much, oh my goodness, much later. I would say probably, again, in and out of it. There was a metaphysical center I connected with 20 years ago in Anaheim, and I took a few classes there. Let me go back though, because I have a fun story to tell. So, for example, I would take a course in healing, and usually it was one course, maybe one day, and we would do an exercise like hovering our hand a few inches above someone else's body and then determining where did it hurt? Where's the problem? I could always do that without being taught. I always knew where it hurt, hot and cold spots. So really? I'm also a healer. I can do Reiki, I do trance healing, and had some good results. But the funny story I was going to tell, I used to live in Seattle. Okay.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I've lived a bunch of places. So when was I in Seattle? Late 70s. So from 78 to about 80, I lived in the Seattle area. And I found a couple of gals that were into woo-woo stuff. Oh, good. Somebody to talk to.
And your people.
Great people. A couple of gals going to nursing school in the Bellevue area. So got to be friends with these gals. And Martha, the nurse, tells me, I think you can do psychometry. I said, what the heck is psychometry? She goes, you hold an object and you get impressions, you get energy from it, and you read it. And I said, I can't do that. She goes, yes, you can, Lynn. Watch this. So she tells me to close my eyes. She puts a stone in the palm of my hand and said, just let it rip. What do you get? So I'm going back to a cave. I'm seeing this indigenous man. She goes, that's too far back. Come forward. Don't go back to creation time. Go forward a little bit. Okay, Martha. So I'm holding this stone and I go, well, I see a man and a woman arguing, and it's getting more and more heated. And they're arguing about this, and she goes, stop. But I didn't hear her. And I'm going on with this description, and she goes, stop. I didn't know she and her husband were having marital problems, but that was her stone. No. Yeah.
And you felt that and saw that.
Yeah. First time I tried psychometry, that's what I saw.
Do you practice that still? Or
yes, ma'am, in a number of different forms.
So how do you do that? That's fascinating.
Okay. For example, if I was reading for you in person, it would be easier for me to tune in to you, and you probably experienced this, where I would ask you for a piece of your jewelry or your eyeglasses or something you've been in contact with for quite a while, and pick up the energy off of that. And it's a nice shortcut to me tuning into you, because You know, we're all energy. We know this.
Mhm.
Ask Einstein if you don't believe me. We're all energy.
We are.
I'm not the genius, but he is. And we leave our energy on everything, our clothing, our furniture, our houses. It all permeates, and we forget that sometimes. So one of the things I do is billet readings. So I don't even remember how I got started. My memory is not so good for some things. I heard about billet readings and how they did them in spiritualist churches, and I modified it for my own purposes. So the word billet means letter in French, I believe.
Okay.
So what I do is before I hold an event, and it's in person, okay, prior to that, I'll get a piece of paper and cut it into small squares, take a Sharpie, put numbers on it, and I wear gloves so that not much of my energy is permeating these pieces of paper. Draw a number on it, fold it up, put it in a basket. Then at my event, as people are signing in, they draw one piece of paper, put it next to their skin, and I do opening remarks. Then my assistant will go and collect all the pieces of paper, and I'll stand on a stage or at a podium, and I'll pull one piece of paper from the basket and then put on a blindfold and read for 5 minutes.
Are you kidding?
I've been doing this for years.
Billet, I've never heard of this.
Other forms of billets, like in spiritualist churches, might include a letter, a photograph that people would put in a basket, and then the medium at the front would try to connect to their loved one through that object, or them even writing the name on a piece of paper.
So them just holding that paper, you could get messages and know what was going on just from holding that paper. And you put a blindfold on and told them things?
Yeah. I always work blindfolded. It's a cleaner reading, especially when many times it's at my spiritual center and I know these people to some extent. So it's a good, clean reading with no what's called cold reading, where you read people's faces and go by their appearance and their body language. Can't do that.
Dang, we can't do that online, but that would be so cool. That would be so cool. Wow. Lynne, I've never heard of that. What other talents do you have? Or wait, have you finished your story about how you developed? I want to do that before we move on to the other things that other modalities that you use.
Thank you. I would say there's a pattern with the billets and the other modalities of me getting the basic idea from something I learn about, but then adapting it to how I can work. The way I do billets is a little different than what they're doing in the spiritualist churches, but they inspired my idea.
Okay. I've never even heard of a spiritual church or a billet spiritual church.
Spiritualist churches are where they specialize in mediumship. So they're here across the United States and a lot of them in Great Britain.
So I just Google spiritual churches. Spiritualist churches. Well, I am familiar with Unity in that, but is that considered a spiritualist? No?
No, the spiritualist churches are their own type of entity.
Do they have special names? They're just called spiritualistic churches.
If you look up spiritualist churches, there's even the SNU, Spiritualist National Union in Great Britain.
Wow.
If you look it up, you could find out if there is a spiritualist church in your area. They focus on mediumship.
That's really interesting. That's fascinating. Gosh, Lynne, I'm learning stuff from you. That's really fun. I love to learn. So this is
Me
cool.
too. Yeah. I like to say I learn something every day if I'm paying attention.
This is true. This is true. Oh, wow.
So you were asking me about the other modalities I work in.
Yes, I just wanted to make sure I got your background covered that you wanted to share.
Yes, I did. Thank you.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure. All right. Well, I know I've experienced many things with you. You work with ribbons, you work with flowers, and then you just told me you do crystals. So tell us about those different, because that really sets you apart. It does. It really does.
Well, a couple things that inspired me to go into these other areas is I'm a rather restless personality, and I get bored easily. And I like to challenge myself.
Mm-hmm.
And interestingly, we're in this timeline where there are so many terrific mediums and terrific psychics. So it's been fun and a challenge for me to distinguish myself. But also, I feel a lot of what I'm doing was just divinely guided.
Right.
And so, speaking of the spiritualist churches,
Mm-hmm.
especially the ones in England, in the UK, I learned that there are only two tools, two that they will allow in addition to just tuning in when people are doing mediumship. So, for example, if someone is demonstrating in a spiritualist church, they're not allowed to pull out a pack of tarot cards to tune in.
Okay.
That's not acceptable. And they have historically had pretty strict parameters over there for how they work.
Okay.
But they will allow ribbons and they will allow flowers.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
And so as a developing medium and someone who's been doing it for a while, I thought, oh, this is fascinating. And I've been to Arthur Findlay College in the UK, and one of my dear mentors there, Colin Bates, had counseled me a couple of times. Oh, have you met Colin?
I watched him.
Oh, what a sweet man. Wonderful energy.
Yes, and very humble.
Yes.
Peaceful.
Especially considering his accomplishments, very humble.
Yeah.
But he had told me several times, Lynne, you have a real connection to color. And I took aura reading classes from him and from other people. And, I just couldn't quite get the hang of aura reading. I was like, I don't know why this is escaping me. So I learned about the spiritualist churches allowing for ribbons. And I thought, how can I adapt that? So if I'm doing Facebook lives or lives, that I can tune into color quickly and use the ribbons. And you've seen this before. I don't know how well people can see it, but this is a turning display. And these ribbons are all numbered, and there are 50 of them on here.
Mm-hmm.
And so I call this my divine download. So me and Amazon put this together. Right?
I think Amazon's going to make more off it than you.
Oh my goodness. So I took a number of pieces of this and pieces of that and worked it for a couple of months. And these ribbons hang on little hooks and rings. And I kept refining it to where the spots that they're hanging on are numbered.
Oh, that's good.
The ribbons are numbered and they have nice legible colors written on them. And so what happens when I read these is I'll do one of two things. I'll either go to what I'm drawn to, and or, as you've experienced, I will also let my audience or my sitters pick a number. I don't necessarily like them to pick a color, but I ask them to pick a number between 1 and 50. So between what I'm drawn to and what they choose, we get a nice reading from that.
And as someone that's experienced that, it's fascinating. And she did a reading, gosh, I don't know, Lynn, a week or two ago. And it was just spot on. And I wrote it down and I've kept it. And then I look at it occasionally because she's talking about passion for me and all this other stuff. So wondering when that passion's going to come. But it'll come. But those readings are really fascinating. She gives, and I don't want them to think that you just do 2 ribbons, because you have given me a reading and then we ask a question and then we pull a ribbon too. So it is, gosh, the word escapes me. Very, when you got a lot of moving parts and they all come together.
Synchronistic?
I don't know. No, that's not the word I want. That's a good word though.
I like that.
Yeah, it's a fascinating reading. It really is very eye-opening.
Thank you.
So she does those kind of readings, but then you do something else with flowers.
I do. Before we leave the ribbons too, I want to give credit to a gentleman named Jeff Jowett, who our producer Kelly Brickle pointed out to me as somebody she interviewed a long time ago. And I went and had a ribbon reading from him over a year ago.
Oh.
And he works differently than I do, but it was really helpful and really fascinating because he puts cards and ribbons together and does these complex readings. Amazing.
Tarot cards, when you say cards, or oracle cards?
Oracle cards, yeah.
Oracle
Thank
cards.
you. Oracle.
Is he in your area? Or did you do it Zoom or something with him?
we did it Zoom. Anymore we're mostly working remotely. Once in a while we're lucky enough to work in person, but yeah, we did that on Zoom. He's in Palm Springs, but I didn't drive all the way out to Palm Springs for that one.
Yeah, that's quite a drive from where you live.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I want to give Jeff credit. So then the other...
And give yourself credit because you do a really bang up job with that.
Thank you, Karen.
You do. It's fascinating. And I had such a hard time connecting with Lynne, finding her and the time and all that. So I was so grateful. And you kept telling me, okay, I'm going to be here and I'm going to be here. And I finally got on.
It's a little tricky sometimes to do that.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, and I was going to mention, I'm developing a deck of cards based on the ribbons. And it's still in the works, but for people that don't have the desire or the setting one of these up it was complicated. And what's easier, I'm doing cards, oracle cards based on this information.
So you're designing those cards too.
Designing the cards. I'll have a manual to go with them. And my goal is to be teaching classes and how to do this by September.
Are you going to be selling those cards too?
Yes.
Okay. Remember me because I'd like to get some from you.
Fabulous. Okay. Yeah, they'll be a lot of fun.
Oh, that'll be, because even though I still pull a tarot card or 3, every day, what's going on, what's going to be happening. So yeah, I like that. Oh, that is fascinating. Good for you, Lynne. Branch it out.
It's
you don't stay still, do you?
No, in fact, I have a hard time. I get invited to so many wonderful groups and practices, and it's hard for me to say no, but I have to make the time to put all this together, and it's going to take some time and focus. And in the meantime, I get invited to these cool things, and oh shoot, I got to let something go.
Well, I'm glad that you said yes, because I'm glad that you came on the channel, because you came on for flowers and you came on for ribbons. So I appreciate that. And everyone is fascinated with them. And every message was spot on too. So the energy, the flow is perfect. It seriously is.
I love doing it, as you can tell. Brings me so much joy. I finally figured out, Colin, how to work with color.
Have you told him that?
I believe I have. I believe I sent him a link to one of my shows, and of course he was very sweet and congratulated me.
Oh, that's nice. Very nice. Okay, so we got ribbons, and would you like to talk about flowers next?
Yes, let's do that.
Did we get everything out on ribbons that you wanted to?
Yes, I think we're good on that.
Okay.
So I discovered that I could also, it's allowable to read flowers doing mediumship, although, it's up to me how I do it. Anyway, I took this tip from the spiritualist churches, and I thought, okay, what's a practical way to do that? Because I'm not going to be running to the florist every time I want to do these readings. Really? They're going to die. They're going to look terrible. So I thought, okay, Hobby Lobby, here I come. And I started
a lot of forests in Southern California.
Sure we do, but hey, I'm not going to keep doing that. So I thought, I wonder if there's a deck of cards out there. And there isn't a lot, but I found, and I didn't bring it to the table here, but there's a Victorian style deck of cards with flowers on them. And I got that. And then where I could, I started buying artificial flowers that matched up with as many of those cards as I could find. Or
very cool.
As well as I could. And I ended up with about 25 that matched up. Okay. These Victorian cards are interesting too, in that in researching it, I learned that especially in Victorian times, there was a secret language connected to flowers. So picture in the 1800s, especially in the UK and all over Europe, people didn't just openly court the woman. A man didn't openly court the woman he was interested in, especially if he was of a different social standing or economic standing. There were strict rules regarding all that. So people developed an accepted language of the meaning of flowers. So let's say a man wanted to court a woman and maybe her family wasn't so approving. He would go to the florist and collect certain flowers. It might mean, oh, I admire your intelligence, or I admire your courage, or whatever. Whatever was in that bouquet had a message. He would hand it to her. Now, if she put the flowers to her over her heart, that meant she was also interested in him.
Oh,
if she put them, yeah. So if she put the bouquet closer to her bodice, can you remember bodices, folks? They're like down around here. That meant friends only. Thanks for the compliment, but I'm not interested in you romantically.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah.
We should bring that back.
It was very, very sweet, very interesting. And the bouquets could be about things other than romance. They could be about admiration. But anyway, that got me started. And so I will do readings on my shows every now and again, just based on the flowers.
I remember it was very well received when you did the flowers, when we did that interview. They was spot on. Everyone was really pleased with their readings.
Yeah, thank you. It's a lot of fun, and I don't see other people doing that out there.
I know, you got your own niche.
That's what I needed. So
you're led by spirit.
Absolutely.
Yep. And you listened. A lot of people get led. Well, we all get led, but we always don't listen.
It's one thing to hear and it's another thing to listen. Yeah.
This is true. This is so true. Yeah, I hear you. Are you listening to me?
Yeah. How many missteps have I made because spirit was yelling at me and I thought, no, I'm doing it this way. All right.
I'm not jumping out of that truck. Fly up. Oh, gosh. Fascinating. Okay. Now let's discuss the crystals. This is something new you're doing.
Yes.
Oh, time to drink.
Sorry. Yep. Getting dry here.
Everybody take a sip.
Water's important.
Oh, it is.
Importante. Okay. So then it occurred to me, what else can I do? And people love crystals. People in our audiences, and we show me someone who among us who doesn't have a special crystal or something they've collected.
Oh,
piece of jewelry. Yeah.
I just had a great big chill when you were talking.
And as a kid, I always loved rocks. I loved geology, and I had rock collections probably by the time I was in the 8th grade doing that stuff, right? So I thought, maybe I can read crystals. And I have a book that is my go-to for crystals by Judy Hall. And Judy Hall wrote the Crystal Bible. I
Oh.
didn't know until I researched her. Where did I put it? I could show it to you, but I'd have to go off camera for just a second. Anyway, she wrote the Crystal Bible, and as I researched Judy Hall, she wrote 44 other books. This woman was way ahead of her time. She was considered
44 other books?
I had no idea. I mean,
holy cow.
What a slacker. I know. What are you going to do?
No, you're not. You're very adventurous. Oh my gosh, you are not a slacker at all.
Oh, no, I was talking about her. Oh. Just a joke. Like 44 books, and she was the authority on crystals. She had numerous degrees. Mm-hmm. And okay, so I thought, wow, I wish I had a deck of cards to go with this. I can collect the crystals easily. Well, Lynne got her wish because based on Judy Hall's work, cool. They put together a deck of cards based on what she brought forward as far as crystals. And so it'll have a picture of she calls everything crystals, stones, crystals, and all this information on the back. In fact, a little too much information on the back. I was reading these on my last podcast. First of all, I need a magnifying glass. And the second thing is they were a little long. But the readings landed well. They were well received. And so what I've done is I have 2 trays of crystals, and I've labeled all of them.
You're like a school teacher. You are your organization.
That has been suggested to me before, and I think I do have some of the teacher in me. Yeah. I'm also a little ADD, and if it's not organized, I can't find anything. Wow. Right? Mm-hmm. So, should we try it out? What do you think?
I think we should try it out, and I think we should have you come on again and do crystals. You've done ribbons, you've done flowers. Let's do crystals.
I'd love it. I'd love it. Whenever you have an opening again, I'll be happy to come on.
Okay.
All right. So send me some energy, Karen, and we'll pull a crystal for you. What does my friend Karen need to know? That one? Oh, nice. They tell me when to stop. And this is apophyllite. We have for you today apophyllite. And this is apophyllite. And it's white. It can come in, I think, pink. And
is it apophyllite?
I think so, but I'm not.
Think so too.
So you see, this happens a lot with my audience, with my sitters. I'm not surprised that you have some. It's a great angel connector. Oh. It probably is because
I'm pretty sure it is because I didn't know how to say it, and the gal at the store kept telling me how to say this. Yeah. I've got a couple of these.
They're great angel connectors, right?
Oh, they are.
Yeah. Also, this is a good crystal for activating the third eye. And you've been learning mediumship and some other things along those lines. And so this stone has a very high vibration. It has to do with conscious connection, making a conscious connection between the physical and the spiritual realm. It's good for accessing multi-dimensions. Opens the third eye, especially if it was blocked before. So it stimulates intuition and clairvoyance. It's good for journeying into past lives and enhances telepathy and channeling, introspection into your own behavior, and it brings about recognition of one's true self. It's a powerful vibrational transmitter, and it's also good for Reiki. Now, what I didn't get into as much on my last podcast when I was reading the crystals, my guides came in later and said, what you missed a little bit was just being still for a minute and holding the crystal and without just reading what's on the card, see what else you get. So what I'm feeling for you, Karen, is this is a wonderful connector on all levels. This helps you connect to Carl. This helps you connect to the angels. This helps you connect to your guides. No wonder you have multiple pieces of it, because you're getting so much divine help in the work that you do. You may think, or it may look on the surface like you're just interviewing people, but you may or may not be aware that the intuitive connection you make to your guests and to your audience is very much in play during these interviews. It's part of what makes you an excellent interviewer, is the emotional and the spiritual connections that you're making.
Gosh darn it, Lynn. Gonna make me cry. You are.
You have, I feel you have a grandmother in spirit who is also one of your guides.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. And she comes forward. Oh, she's a character. Okay. She's dressed in long white flowing robes. She comes in looking very elegant, and then she cracks a joke. She goes, "Fooled you." She's delightful. Does that?
I've got chills. I'm freezing.
Your grandmother is here and laughing with us. Yeah, this white color, your apophyllite is some of the lovely other colors. And
yeah, I have green.
Yeah, I had a piece of apophyllite and stillbite together, great angel connector. So it was pink and green.
Oh, man.
Heart colors, the pink and green together. And look what color you're wearing today. It's the same color as your apophyllite.
Gosh, I seriously am freezing over here and having so many chills. Oh my gosh, Lynn.
Wow. What else does your grandmother have to say? Do you see all the lovely points in this? Yes. This is the amount. Oh, and these are the points on this piece are gorgeous and clear, but there's lots of them going in different directions. In a way, the spiritual world is kind of your oyster. Whatever you want to take on, whatever you want to learn and focus on, you're going to get help mastering that from multiple sources. You are in your groove, Karen. This is what you're supposed to do.
Oh my God. I'm sorry. I'm really having a hard time staying in my body right now.
Well, if you'd like me to take over as host, I suppose I could try that. I don't know if I'm really good at it, but
you would do a damn good job, Lynn. Wow.
Thank you for letting me read that for you.
Thank you. I had to put it down. I had to, I should be carrying this all over the house, I think. Oh my gosh.
Whenever you work, whenever you're connecting on a deep and a high level with everyone you interview.
Wow. Well, I have it on my desk and I have it in my bedroom. I'm not connecting with my friends in the bedroom, but with spirits I can. Oh man, Lynn. Okay, she's coming back on, guys. But and my dogs are crazy. They really are. They've been bothering me. Stop it. The whole time since you've been on, Lynn, I've been pushing them off and everything.
That's
so we got a lot of spirits.
Yeah, there's a lot of spirit there. You get lots and lots of help, Karen.
I need lots and lots of help. No, I do. I've gone through a lot of stuff, so I do need the help. Coming through it. Yeah.
I think of you as one of the people I know. I call you a phoenix lady. You have risen from the ashes and spread your wings to fly. And look at you go.
I know. I feel that way sometimes too. Yeah. Whoa. And guys, if you don't want to wait for Lynn, contact her. Oh, we don't have the ticker going. But because we're not doing live. What a spaz. Never mind.
I'm used to working that way too. It's
always going, oh, there she goes. Anyway,
there go the dogs again. Too many spirits in the house.
They're feeding off my energy.
Too many spooks in the house. Oh my gosh. Your grandmother is a character. She likes helping.
I think it's my Indian grandmother, Grandma Alice. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's who it is. Yeah, I remember going upstairs one time. Had Carl had passed. And I was in my other house. And I walked upstairs and I saw, and I've never seen her before in spirit. And I saw her sitting in her rocking chair and she turned and looked at me and I just froze because, at that point in time, I wasn't in tune like I am now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'll walk out in the great room and I go, oh my God, there's so many people here. Anyway, Lynne, you guys, I really suggest you reach out and connect with her. She's a real deal. She really is. Honey, gosh, did we cover everything that you wanted to cover? Take a look at your little paper just to make sure. Because
the only other modality I tried recently was rune stones, and I had to do a crash course in them. Mm-hmm. Quite honestly, I would say the Norwegian and the Viking vibe is not quite where I am. I respect it greatly. And the German people used runes for a long time, but I'm not sure how much further I'll take that. I think I have my hands full with the ribbons and the flowers. Brian Lahr was nice enough to help educate me on runes when I went into that. But yeah, that was a bit of a challenge. I think if it's okay, I'd just like to make a couple of comments about color and light and.
Of course.
Yeah. The whole subject of color and what we take out into the world and share with people is something I remind my audiences of all the time, no matter where we are on our journeys, or, it's easy to think that we have no influence in what goes on in the world. It's easy because the events going on are so huge and there's billions of people on the planet. But it's still true that when we go out into the world, or when we're even dealing with our families, but I use going to the grocery store as a good example, right? Mm-hmm. I go to the grocery store, I remind myself before I get out of the car to put up my shields and turn on my light and go in with a positive attitude, because I'm aware that every time I make eye contact with someone, or I smile at someone, or maybe I give them a nod, we never know if that person is maybe on the verge of giving up and doesn't even feel recognized as a human being.
Yes.
Yeah. And we don't know if maybe just a little friendliness, a little acknowledgement of them tips the scale so they don't give up that day.
I so agree. That's beautiful. Yes. Mm-hmm.
And for my part, I turned my hair multiple colors, including purple, and people smile. All I have to do is go to the grocery store and people go, oh, I love your hair.
I bet you get compliments all the time. I bet you do.
I do, and then I get to tell them I do it myself, and they're gobsmacked. I do.
That is, I remember once I had purple hair, and I did, and Carl and I had dark purple hair.
Wow.
And dark purple.
I did not know that.
Oh, I've done lots. It's fun. I play with color. I love color. I'm not going to do what you're doing, but I love color.
Okay.
And we went to a fair where you can get crystals and jewelry and all this stuff. And all the ladies with purple hair kept coming up to me. It was like a kinship that we were bonded because of our hair. It was really quite fascinating. Yeah. But I love the message you just gave. I feel the same way. Just a little drop of kindness all the time to somebody. You don't know what anybody's experiencing.
Yeah. It's too easy to judge people by their appearances. We don't know what they're going through.
Exactly. We don't.
Yeah.
And do we have to be so judgmental? I mean, do we have to judge people all the time if they don't fit what we think, how they should be acting or looking or anything? I don't know.
I'll tell you something funny. I tend to have a critical eye for how people are dressed and how many tattoos they have on. And every once in a while, when I'm getting into that mode, I hear Joan Rivers in the background going, "Call the fashion police." And I laugh at myself and go, God, get over it. Everybody gets to express themselves. Everybody gets to be different. What the hey?
Just step back and let them be them. Yeah.
People are they're literally dying to have a voice. They're dying to be seen and heard. Loneliness is epidemic.
Yeah.
And sometimes it doesn't take that much to fix it a bit.
I have a friend. I'm sorry, we're digressing, you guys, but there's a reason. There's a reason why we're going down this road. I have a friend on Facebook that every post she puts up daily has to do with kindness and about friendship. And it's very inspiring to read those. And it's a nice little reminder. Okay, I just need to, go out there and put those good vibes out and create that. And I know that sometimes I've been down, from depression about the death, the death I experienced. And then when I go out of myself and start giving more, then I get that all back and it lifts your vibe.
Yeah, there's something about doing for other people. And I think there's a balance to that. Of course, we need to take care of ourselves and our own lives. But I spent many years in AA, and one of their tenets was, you want to get out of your own head, which is a bad neighborhood, go help somebody.
And thank you for sharing that you were in AA too, because that's brave.
Yeah.
That's really brave. So kudos. Don't you love Lynne, you guys? I mean, I do. I really do. There's some people you connect with really well, and we play off each other quite well. It's nice.
It's a lot of fun, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Is there anything you want to say before I mention my handsome, hunky husband?
Just if you don't mind, I have a podcast, Kaleidoscope of the Soul, here on the Sacred Spiral Network. Thank you, Kelly. On a couple of Fridays every month. The schedule varies a bit, but it's usually on a Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. in the UK. And I'm on Spirit is Everywhere, a UK group doing readings on Facebook for them every other Wednesday. And still connecting with my friends across the pond that way.
Well, that's good. So people could come on and maybe get a ribbon pulled or a flower pulled or something.
Yes.
And get a message from you.
Yes.
Like I did, that I have kept.
Yes.
I did. I kept it. I have written down and put them in books. Okay, Lynne, you are beautiful. Your soul shines so brightly. You are so beautiful. And I'm not just talking about the color of your hair. Your soul. Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me on again. It's always a pleasure.
I know it is. Okay, we're gonna bring my husband on right now. You're gonna still be here, Lynne. So don't. So here he is.
Oh.
Okay, that is my husband, Bono, and that is when we first met. And he asked for my hand in marriage, and I never thought I'd be married 3 times, but 3's a charm. So don't give up. So he gave me this message: variety is the spice of life. We all have different flavors and desires at many different times. You don't always have to taste the same flavors. Lynne, you have not tasted the same flavors. Life is full of expansion, different colors, different shades, and varieties. Show your true flavors and colors. So pretty appropriate for what we had going on today.
Yeah. Thank you, Bono.
Yeah, he's a good man. He really is. I love him so much. Oh boy, Lynne, absolutely wonderful having you. Thank you for coming on, and we will connect again.
Sounds wonderful, Karen. Thank you again for having me.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.